Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to study and continue with Unit 13 of Class 12 Education Nagaland Board, which is individual differences. Now, in this unit, so far we've discussed about the meaning of individual differences, we've discussed the causes for individual differences, the areas in which such differences are reflecting, then the tests for such differences, and also discussed at length about the children who are physically or mentally handicapped and the kind of education that needs to be provided for them. Now in this lecture, in this particular video, I'm going to talk about the services or what kind of a guidance needs to be made available for the handicapped children. By now we know that the blind, deaf, the crippled or the mentally disabled people have a very serious problem of adjusting to the other children or to the other people, the society around. The handicapped children, feel afraid because they know that they are crippled and then they would not be able to deal with the physical force when applied to them. This leads to the loss of self-confidence and therefore they don't even try to do anything. Then, the other who are blind or deaf or, are not able to speak properly, such people also believe that even if they try, they'd not be able to get as much success as the normal people do. And this takes away their willingness to work. Therefore, first of all, we need to change this feeling in them. We need to make them feel confident to apply or to choose an occupation of their choice and to make them understand that, there might be a few things which they might not be able to do, but there are multiple things that they can very well do. So to make them aware, to apprise them with all the things that are well suited for them is again a very important task. They need to be encouraged towards achieving success and self-confidence in the first place. That is very important. The physical, handicapped children, obviously, who have no confidence, they might have a friend whom they confide in, whom they talk to, whom they can discuss everything freely. So there always has to be a person available with them and for them whom they can rely on as comfortably as they can and can talk to them about the things that are worrisome. It can be their parents, it can be their friends, it can be a counselor or a teacher. Because at the end of the day, what is required is to make them morally sound, confident, and capable. So these children need to be dealt with very carefully, and one must always teach the handicapped children to be independent, to care for what they want, to be considerate about what they want. Just because they are handicapped does not mean that they cannot demand anything. To be proficient, in whatever field they want to choose or they want to be a part of. And they need to understand that even if there is some sort of a disability that they are dealing with, they need to have a family. They need to have a social relation. They need to go out of their houses and assume the responsibility of being a good citizen of the society. Shutting yourself in the house is not at all an appropriate behavior. Now, we have so far discussed about the role of a teacher in everything, in, bringing such children out of the gloom. So it is the policy, the schools obviously nowadays have made this as a policy that the education for such children can be provided in the regular classrooms only. So if this is taking place, the entire responsibility when the child comes to school is to be taken care of by the teacher, by the school authorities. So the parents, the teacher, the school, the other external agencies who are helping to take care of such children should be as kind and sympathetic and understanding to them as possible. And what are some of the most common responsibilities? One, those students who have a problem with their eyesight, and even if they are wearing spectacles, they should be allowed to move freely around the classroom. If they want to read something that they still find is far away from them, or something which is on a map or is on the board that is at a distance. Children who again have a problem with their sight should be provided with the opportunity to select the classmates, uh, who can help them to read or who can help them in studying something. A child who's not able to hear well, even if that child is sitting in the front of the classroom, he can be allowed to change the seats. If he's not able to hear what the teacher is saying, he again should be allowed to go near the teacher or the other members of the class to talk to them. Children who are lame, who are not able to walk, and are on a wheelchair and need somebody to be, to take them from one place to the other, should have a special bus for them. They should have the floors on the first floor, and there should be elevators in the school so that they can move easily, and they should have somebody else to help them all the time. Now, the physically handicapped children should be permitted to leave the class if they want before the normal time of the dismiss, so that they don't go through the rush. They are not supposed to be a part of the crowd when the school goes out altogether. So these are some of the responsibilities and the provisions that can be made on the part of the school as well as the teachers, so that such children can study and can study as comfortably as they can. And with this, my dear students, we come to the end of Unit 13. In this unit, we've talked about the individual differences. We've talked about the fact that an individual can either differ with respect to their physique or their mental abilities as well. Then we talked about how the environment plays an important role in helping and transforming such children. The curriculum should be designed in such a manner that the needs and the abilities of such children need to be taken care of. In the school also, we should use an achievement test which is appropriate for each one of them. We learned about the tests that have been formulated to judge or to assess their intelligence. We talked about the physically and the mentally retarded children, their needs, and the kind of educational provision that needs to be made for them.